Today, I'm with the CEO and the founder, the actual founder of All About You Center in Hong Kong, Sonia Samtani. She is a clinical hypnotherapist. She is a hypnotherapy trainer. And I wanted to get her thoughts on some ideas that I've been having lately. Let's see if she can get into my head a little bit. You ready?
Sure.
All right,
Let's see.
let's do it. Sonia, thank you for being here. So I was wondering about beliefs because I know a lot of the work that you do is unlocking people's inner inner beliefs, inner children, past lives, things of
hmm
that nature. So what is it about beliefs that can either really hold people back or also what about beliefs can really propel them forward?
Beliefs is like the crux of what I do, right? Because beliefs influences behavior.
Mm,
So people come to hypnotherapists to change something in their behavior, which is like what the body does. So if the body's shaking in public speaking, why?
mhm,
If you've got like a phobic reaction to flying, why? And it's because of a belief. You believe that you'll be unsafe. You believe that you will be judged.
mhm.
You believe that something wrong or bad will happen to you. And mainly, you believe that you're not enough to handle it. And that is the biggest limiting belief that constrains us, that we don't have enough tools to handle what will come our way. And we formed that very, very early on. And these beliefs have permeated into different ways. So it can result in anxiety, it can
Okay.
result in fears, phobias, limiting beliefs, go into the way that we interact in relationships, the way that we interact at work, etc. So our
Okay.
beliefs can expand us or limit us.
Okay. Yeah, it's something that I came to see you with a few years back on, as you mentioned, public speaking,
hmm
where the anxiety would just go crazy. And you told me something very interesting. Your mind is actually doing the fight or flight. We always think that it's our
Yeah.
body that's running
Yeah.
away or, getting ready to
Mm-hmm.
fight, but
Mm-hmm.
you were right. That was the best way I could ever describe it. My
Mm-hmm.
mind would go completely blank.
Yeah.
Everything that I
Yeah.
prepared for was gone. And then, we did a session there. And then
Mm-hmm.
I also do like a lot more practice
Mm-hmm.
as well, just so I am comfortable because I know I can do it, but I still have that little belief in the back of my head going, you're gonna fuck up again. It definitely took me some work, but I can see how that belief really shaped a lot of my life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And public speaking is one way that it showed up. And the consequence of those beliefs is fight or flight if the belief is I'm not safe enough. Right. And as you said, public speaking is such a big one
Oh
because
yeah.
it's the biggest fear in the world, right? It comes before death, according to many stats and a lot of research. People would rather die than speak in
Yeah.
public. But actually, it's about the fear of being judged.
Hmm.
Because why do we fear public speaking? Because we fear that we'll be judged. And if I'm judged negatively, I will not be accepted. And if I'm not accepted, what does that mean? I'm not alone. Sorry, I am alone. I
Hmm.
don't belong. I'm not safe and I'm not loved. And I think these four things are the core limiting beliefs that we have. So if I would
Okay.
say that again, right?
Yeah.
I'm not safe. I don't belong. I'm not enough. And I'm not loved.
Okay. And then it used to be back in, caveman times, we were, fighting things and really actually scared of things. And this is where the anxiety and the fear and the fight or flight really made a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
now it's just doing a presentation in the boardroom.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
We don't. But these ancestral
Hmm.
beliefs have been so strongly embedded in our subconscious mind that for us, public speaking is as good as nobody's going to be with me when the predator comes
Hmm.
because we need people there for survival. And we need a group and to belong to a community to know that I'm going to be safe. So even if today it doesn't make sense because we're in a modern society and these beliefs don't hold true, the mind doesn't know that when it just absorbs it
Mm.
in our nervous system. And not only from our caveman ancestors, we're carrying things from our parents and from our
Hmm.
grandparents. Like I have worked with a few people who have had a fear of open spaces.
Hmm.
So if you're living in Hong Kong, it would be like going to a mall, like Pacific Place, and going to the
Okay.
open area
Yeah.
and so scared because it's open. Where did that come from? Because grandma was living in war. And at that point, it was really scary to be in an open space because you would literally die.
Yeah.
That was true for her. But the belief gets carried on in our nervous system. It gets passed on consciously or even unconsciously. And the person that inherits it is living in a different reality, but is still adhering to the same belief.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy stuff just to think that, well, actually, I take it back. I don't think it is crazy stuff. I think it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense because even what I grew up with, my parents were instilled from their beliefs from their parents, and they instilled their beliefs in me. I didn't really get to choose
Yeah.
that. It was
Yeah.
just something that I had to do. I had to believe. And I always had this idea. Well, I didn't have this idea, someone else's idea, but that beliefs aren't necessarily great. Ideas are good because
Yeah.
ideas are flexible, but belief is a part of you. And if you attack that belief, you're attacking me. Don't you dare attack my beliefs, because
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
But if it's just an idea, well, that's flexible. I
Exactly.
can move that around.
You got it. And beliefs are limiting because they're
Yeah.
fixed, right? And anything that is rigid becomes dysfunctional. Whatever is flexible is okay. It allows you to discern, it allows you to evolve. But if anything is fixed, then it reduces possibility. And we form a lot of limiting beliefs because we make absolute conclusions when we can't handle what comes our way. Let's say if someone betrayed you, you might say, I will never trust again.
Mhm.
And that's an absolute belief, right? Or if you were hurt, oh, I'm not going to get into a relationship again, or I won't be with this kind of person again.
Yeah.
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 An absolute belief. And it will come true, but you've also like fixed yourself and put yourself in a box.
So I was wondering, like from your personal experience, is there a certain belief that you had growing up that kind of dictated how you show up in relationships? That could be romantic, family, friendship, just
So
whatever you
many,
think.
so many.
Okay.
But I can give you one. And a lot
Okay.
of
One's
them
good.
are to do with the role of being a woman, right? And this, I think, goes into culture, society, and probably at least 5 or 6 generations. One of my ones are to be a good woman is to be adjustable, to be obedient to a certain extent,
Okay.
and just to be easygoing. Yeah, despite however you feel.
Well, yeah. What's wrong with that?
Of course,
What,
it'd be great for
what do
you.
you mean? That a belief? That's just facts, right? No, 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 no. Please, please
To
go
be likable, to be lovable, yeah, I would need it to be adjustable. I would need to
Mhm.
be easygoing. I would need to be adaptable. And it's not such a great idea for me to say how I truly feel or even what I really want. And when I was young, it would show up in small things like I would go to a restaurant and I would say, whatever you want to eat.
Okay.
Okay, not even kind of stating my needs. Today, of course, that's
Yeah.
different. And then just allowing yourself to caretake and please others and make space for them more than
So
myself.
you kind of made yourself small so everyone else could.
Yeah, and I thought it's such a great trait to be
Yeah.
adjustable. Like I'm so easygoing, I'm such a good girl, I'm so obedient, I'm so adjustable, and it showed up everywhere.
It's like I'm the best.
Yeah.
I don't bother anyone at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't bother anyone, and at the same time, it had me be invisible.
Yeah.
Right? To a large extent, because my needs, my voice, who I was, didn't have a place. And so I've worked a lot in finding my voice and allowing that voice to have a place and believing that it deserves a place.
Mhm.
And I've been working on myself for 20 years. So it's been
It, it,
a
it
good
is
amount
a
of time.
it is a journey. All of this stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see any way that are there any core? Well, we talked about core beliefs. Are there any common beliefs that you see a lot of people coming in to the center with?
I do. And I think they're different from men and women. Like a lot of women, like myself, initially we were to be the caregivers, the
Mm,
peacemakers, right? In order to be good enough. And then to become sacrificing. And if we were not all of that, we felt that we were not performing our role as a woman.
mm.
And with men to be the strong one, to be the provider, to be the safe space, to be holding it
Yeah.
together
So
back in the day.
it's these traditional gender roles that people are
Yeah.
talking a lot about now.
Yeah. And they still show up in my sessions. I still
Yeah, I
see
believe
them
it.
a lot, almost every day. And a lot of men do have sort of inner wounding around, do I deserve this achievement? Can I get that? Can I be the protector for other people? But what about the part of me that feels unsafe and vulnerable? They've not looked at
Yeah.
that. They've not dealt with that. So that shows up.
Yeah. I've always had a belief that for me, not necessarily to be the protector and to and to provide her for a family because I don't have a family, you know. But for me, it was always about I have to do everything on my own.
Mm.
I can't ask for help. And even if I do ask for help, I still have
Mm.
to depend on me because I can't depend on anyone else.
Mm.
And, that's been something that even today is, it's very tough to,
Mm.
God, it's very tough to even just do this,
Yeah.
call up my friends, colleagues and be like, hey, do you want to, do something that I think is cool,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I put myself out there and
Mm.
ask for help. That's always been tough for me.
I can understand that because that would be like a survival strategy. And what you should do and what you're supposed to do is be independent for the result of being strong on
Mhm.
the outside, right? And for some people, I don't know if you found this, that leads to shutdown and
Mhm.
isolation,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So you're not connecting with other people, you dissociate from other people and you shut down. And interestingly, the traditional woman has the opposite wounding, right? So that traditional man is to be independent and for woman is to be codependent. Like, I can't do it on my own.
Yeah.
I need to play small or I need to not know so that you can know for me and I can depend on you. So both of those things together, I mean, relationships are a lot of work.
Yeah.
One is shutting down, the other one wants to depend. And the more she wants to depend, the more he goes in. None of them are happy, and it's not okay.
Yeah. I was talking to someone the other day about if you want a successful relationship, you have to compromise.
Mhm.
And well, yeah, I believe there is some of that for sure. I think I can't remember who said it. Someone said this that well, if we compromise, no one gets what they want.
Mm.
So why would I ever do that? That's what they said. I
Mm.
mean, I do think there needs to be some type of compromise, but
Yeah.
the big things that m- take you out of yourself and make you someone else, I think that is very hard to compromise on.
I agree. And I think communication is key.
Mm,
So if the other person knows that she doesn't like this and she's doing it for me because she's choosing me,
mm.
then there's enough communication and openness and honesty in the relationship for them to see each other. And then you're not doing it from a space of compromise, which can actually be sacrifice. And
Yes,
sacrifice does
that's a
not
good point.
work,
Yeah.
right? And sacrifice builds resentment. And you can do the same action from sacrifice or choice.
Mhm.
And if you do it from choice, you're autonomous, you have freedom, you're in charge, and if you do it from sacrifice, you're giving up a part of yourself, you're dissociated, it builds resentment, and you're possibly not communicated, and you suppress.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of people can't feel or don't know the difference between the two to make an active choice versus sacrifice versus compromise, and it gets very
Yeah.
muddled
Yeah.
in all of it.
Yeah. I would probably say that if you feel like you should do something,
That's good.
yeah, and if you don't do it, there'll be a consequence that you can't handle, or if you're scared, you're probably sacrificing. If you're choosing to do it and you're communicating that and you're communicating the upside and the downside of your choice, and people know, especially in
Mhm.
relationships, and you're standing and you feel grounded, it is most likely to be a choice.
I've noticed in my own life a lot of times I'm holding on to something very, very strongly, something that I was taught when I was a kid. And I'm like, I'm not sure if this really matches who I am anymore, but I'm still holding on to it. I've gotten a lot better with that over the years, but within your practice, and you see people, what do you see are the repercussions? What actually happens when somebody is still holding on to this old belief that doesn't really fit their values anymore?
The first repercussion is a deep inner conflict.
Mm,
Yeah. And then it can lead to body breakdown, a lot of confusion, and self rejection, if I purely just talk about the consequences. Because now you've got a mismatch between your conscious mind, your intelligence, and your emotional self, and the
mhm.
belief that's embedded in the subconscious mind that's formed an identity. So let's say your intelligence has grown and you believe that I am equal to everyone in my family, even though I was the sixth child,
Yeah.
and I'm worthy and I deserve to buy the new car or to ask the investors for money. But there is another part of your identity that says, no, I'm less significant than my siblings. I'm the last one. I don't deserve. Yeah. So the consequence is, even though you want to do something, there's going to be another part of you that feels like I don't deserve. It can lead to imposter syndrome. It can lead to an inner conflict. And because people don't understand that these are two parts of you, and the other part is not something to berate or judge, they end up judging that part. Like, why don't I believe this? Why don't I feel good enough? I've got everything. I've proven it. For the last 10 years, I'm the CEO of this company. Why don't I feel that way? And then they start self-judgment and feeling shame for the way that they actually feel inside. Whereas actually, it's just parts. I mean, if people know parts therapy or done anything like that, every time you have a belief system, there is a voice in you that has cultivated a certain identity, and it's a part of you.
Yeah.
And that part has power. And that part does not have to be permanent because you created it. So if you created the belief that I'm insignificant, you can also shift that belief, but not by putting it down. Not by saying that I shouldn't be insignificant. Why do I feel that way? How dare I feel that way? I shouldn't feel that way. Because that's just going to push that part further away from you. And then it's going to come and be knocking on your door a little bit more. And instead, why not understand? Why did I create that belief in the first place? Oh, I felt insignificant as a child. What did that part of me need? What did that part of me not understand? So everything for me boils down to catharsis and reframing.
Okay.
Right. So catharsis is releasing the emotions and the energy that has not been processed. So you release the sadness associated with it, the anger associated with it, feel that moving through your nervous system, and then look back at the same situation and reframe it.
A lot of times in my sessions, when I'm talking to clients, they have all these ideas that are going into their head. And even myself, I have all these voices, well, not voices, but these thoughts that just go into my head. And it's like, I know that I can't control the first thought. It's just going to be there. And to me, kind of what you said and what I tell clients is, that's like an underlying belief, but you don't have to listen to that.
Exactly.
And you can also give it a name. So for me, I call that dude, and I call him Steve, because Steve is the worst name. I don't know. I just thought of that. I don't know. But yeah, I tell my clients, if you can name it, you can dissociate yourself from it, because you are not angry. You're not depressed. You are not sad. You're not happy. You feel anger. You feel depressed. You feel sad. You feel happy. And these are, constant states of flux that we're going through. And you have all of these long held beliefs in the back of your head. And for me, my head lies to me a lot. And I have to be like, oh, there's Steve again.
Yeah.
Okay, there he is. That's fine. He can show up. I know he's an asshole. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I just keep on moving on. And that's the kind of stuff that I, also talk to my clients about as well, to not get stuck into a spiral of, I'm not doing it right. I'm not good enough. Going back to those core ideas, core beliefs too.
Exactly. Yeah. And at that point, Steve is not hijacking you, right? You're watching Steve. And when we get hijacked, that's when we lose our sense of self. So by naming it, you're not getting hijacked by it.
Yeah.
And then maybe form a relationship with Steve. Hey, Steve,
Yeah.
you're part of me.
It's like, hey, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why are you so
Steve,
angry?
we're in this together. Like, we're in for the ride.
Yeah.
Asshole and me are partners, That's the end game.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'm there yet.
Okay.
But yeah, right now I'm just like, oh, there he is. It's all right. Hey, man, what's up? That kind of stuff.
Step by step,
Okay.
right? Self-partnership is when Steve and you are like buddies.
Okay, good. I still have some growth to do. Good.
Yes, do we all?
A client comes in, they have problems with their beliefs, they have problem accepting things about themselves or their past, or they're dealing with depression, anxiety, public speaking, rejection from work, whatever it is. What are some practical steps that people can take home to deal with that on a day-to-day basis or to overcome it?
Well, since we're talking about beliefs, I would say let's write down all the beliefs that are preventing you from your desired outcome.
Okay.
Right? So if your desired outcome is to be a confident public speaker or to be comfortable and relaxed on a plane, you believe that I'm not going to be safe. There's going to be turbulence and I'm going to crash. With public speaking, I'm not going to handle what comes my way. They're all going to judge me. No one's going to like me.
Yeah.
Well, let's put those down first, because once you name them, just like Steve, you
Mhm.
can come out of it rather than being hijacked by it.
Okay.
So, step number one, name your limiting beliefs that are keeping you in this
I would
place.
say write it down.
Yes,
I've
absolutely.
always think actually writing it down is much more powerful than typing it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, write down your limiting beliefs. Number two could be write down what you would like to believe. Right? So I'd like to believe I'm safe. I'd like to believe I'm comfortable. I'd like to believe I can handle what comes my way. So now you can see the discrepancy and you can see where I am now, where I'd like to be. So there is a vision. Number three would be now let's look at the part of me that's holding these limiting beliefs without wanting to fix it or judge it and understand that I had it, or I have it because a part of me didn't know any better and was trying its best to survive. Either I have cultivated this belief myself or I've taken it on from someone I trusted.
Mm.
Like maybe you've taken on from your mother or your father, don't go into open spaces, don't pet animals, and you're scared of certain animals. So give yourself understanding. And if you can, look at each of those limiting beliefs and say to the part of you that believes it, I see you. I acknowledge you. I'm so sorry you felt that way. You're safe now.
Mhm.
And anything else that you wish to say. Sometimes you'll get a flash of where that belief came from. And if you do, then you're getting in touch with an inner child.
Yeah.
And if you
Okay.
do get in touch with that inner child, it's an opportunity for you to say to that inner child, you're safe now. You're loved. You're enough. You belong, which is actually all that we want. And to allow that part of us to come back home to ourselves. And when you feel like all of those limiting beliefs that you've written don't have the same charge as
Mhm.
before, then you've made a lot of progress because you've released the impact of that from your nervous system. That's one. And at the same time, the beliefs that you'd like to cultivate, say those to yourself every day before you sleep as affirmations in
Okay.
a natural hypnotic state. Because just before sleeping, the brain wave changes
Mhm.
and we go from beta to alpha to theta just before we go into delta. And if you're saying that to yourself just before you sleep, you're inputting a new belief system that you'd like.
Is that where the neuroplasticity takes
Yeah.
into effect in a
Both
way?
of these are about
Okay.
neuroplasticity. So the old one is about deactivating the old neural pathways, and this one is about inputting the new neural pathways.
Okay.
So in my formula, we're kind of doing both.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we're building new roads
Yes.
to input new ideas, new beliefs that are healthier.
Exactly.
So sounds like a lot of work, but it always is.
It is.
Yeah.
Like if you think that change is not a lot of work, sorry. It is.
Mm.
It's going to be. And then it will feel natural. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
one thing I've noticed when I started my whole journey of change and everything. Yeah, like I mean, you mentioned 20 years, same thing for me. It's like I'm not the person I was 10 years ago. I'm not going to be the person I am now 10 years from now. It's always going to change. And for me personally, it's really about self-awareness. Self-awareness and then being open to something new, being open to the fact that I might be wrong. I might not know everything. Well, I
Exactly.
know I don't, but just being open to the possibility of something new.
Yeah. And I think the more we mature and we grow in this area, we realize that we know so little. And in the beginning, you're like, I know it all and I can help and I can help any issue. And now I'm like, well, no, I don't know it all. And I feel really proud and like in line with my truth to say that.
Mhm.
And I know what I know. And let's see what it does for you. And usually it does a lot for them. But I'm not here claiming that I know how to resolve everything and I know what's going on because we don't
Wait,
necessarily.
you can't fix everything? Damn it. I'm sorry, guys. She
Sorry,
can't
guys.
fix everything.
To burst the
Ah,
bubble.
that was Ask an Expert with clinical hypnotherapist Sonia Samtani. She is the founder of this amazing space, which you guys should definitely come and see. We can only see a wall right now, but it's much, much, much nicer, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's much more than this
Yeah.
wall. We've got a beautiful space here.
So we're in central Sheung Wan area. And Sonia, where can people find you if not at your office?
Physically, I'm at my office a lot.
Okay,
But
where is that?
that is, so I'm in Sheung Wan, I'm on Jeuvoi Street, and we have a beautiful, safe, and comfortable center where people can come in for private sessions, workshop, and training. And if you'd like to get in touch, my website is allaboutyouscenter.com. and soniasamtani.com. And you can just research my name, Sonia Samtani. Instagram account would be great. We'd be happy to hear from you in any of our platforms. And we do pride ourselves in creating a space that is confidential and that can help you to move from where you're at towards your desired outcome.
Sounds like you've said that a few times before.
It happens in the moment.
Yeah,
In the moment.
perfect. All right. Well, Sonia, thank you again. I know you're very busy. I'm glad we got some time in to do this. And thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Will.
All
Glad
right,
it worked
cool.
out.
Yeah, perfect.
Bye.